In this 3D project, Gen Pharmaceuticals believe that a particular variant of vitamin E that they had developed has the potential for treatment of thrombosis, cholesterol issues, or diabetes. However, they can only invest in one of these projects. There are some areas of concern with regard to the FDA approval, the success of preliminary tests, and also of revenue. So the issue is, which project should they invest in? Let's get down to the decision tree. Here we have the decision tree. Since it's a large tree, I have had to squeeze it a little bit. Here are the 3 projects. Here we have the success and the failure of tests for each case. And also we have added a decision node here, where in each case, if the test is not successful, we can abandon the project. After the test, we would go for FDA approval. And here again, there are uncertainties. And if phase 2 is successful, we can talk about revenue. And here again, there are some uncertainties. So what we do is we start with 50% probabilities for all of them, because there is no basis to really put a value at this stage. And what we will do is we will simulate this considering 3 scenarios. First, we will deal with the uncertainties associated with FDA approval. Then we'll look at the uncertainties with regard to the tests. And finally, we will look at the uncertainties related to revenue. Let us go ahead and link the scroll bars. Equals 50 equals 50 equals 50. As soon as we do this, we have now linked all of the scroll bars. These are fixed manually. Let's proceed to the D-zone map and select the projects. All we have to do now is simply clear the chart and plot. Now we have a triple point and the zones. In the current position, the decision is diabetes, so let us move this down here. Let's move up a little bit. We are now in the thrombosis, so that's okay. And without a doubt, the next region would be cholesterol. Let's test it. Yes, it's cholesterol. So this is our zone map. And if we get back to our 50% levels, now all 3 probabilities are at 50%, and you can see the recommendation is diabetes. However, looking at these distances being very small, we can see that a minor change in assumptions would result in us going for thrombosis. So this is the advantage of this type of analysis. What we just did was the success of the test. Let us now look at the FDA approval. For that, all we have to do is go back here and change these values. Put this to 0.5 equals 1 minus . Change all these values to fixed values of 50% and assign the probabilities of the FDA approval. So we set the orange to this, the plum, and the olive. As always, we must redraw. So here we redraw, check. What we need to do now is clear chart and say plot. Now we have a different diagram. Once again, look at where the demarcation line is. It is in the region that is specified as diabetes. Now the regions change. So we need to move diabetes up here, and let's cross this line here. This is thrombosis. So down here. And obviously this would be cholesterol, correct. So let's move this to cholesterol. Once again, we can use this diagram to decide if FDA approval is a major concern, where should we be? What assumptions we need to make? As a final test, let us go ahead and plot the decision zone for the revenue uncertainties. We come over here. This time we change this and assign the probabilities to these 3. So let's fix this as 0.5. Redraw. Note that whenever we assign a probability, automatically the model inserts the 1 minus param immediately. So we are ready now to go ahead to our zone map. We have everything in place. All we have to do is clear chart and say plot. Now here we have something very interesting. We do not have a triple point. We only have two zones. And what are these two zones? Diabetes and thrombosis. So under this scenario, we should not engage in cholesterol at all because cholesterol has a lower expected value. However, let's take a look at the impact of the third plane, which is the probability of cholesterol producing high revenue. We'll increase this to 60, clear and replot. Here we see an interesting change. Now cholesterol is at play. And this zone is still thrombosis. This zone is diabetes. But if we come back down here and across to this new zone, we see it's cholesterol. So what we need to do is move it over here. What you should recognize is this is a two-dimensional map with the third dimension behind this page. So as you change the olive probability of cholesterol, you see a different slice of the plane. And this is extremely valuable. We can now see if I increase cholesterol further, this triple point will move upwards. Watch. Another clear chart. That means there's a greater zone where cholesterol would play a dominant role. That's it for this video. Hopefully you have learned how to work with multiple probabilities under different scenarios.